The hallway echoed with the slam of lockers and the chatter of students rushing to class. But in that instant, everything blurred as Ryan's hand shot out and clamped around my wrist like a vice. His face twisted in anger, eyes narrowing under his messy blonde hair as he yanked me closer. You think you can just walk around here like you own the place with that thing on your head? People like you don't belong here. Go back where you came from. His words hit like a punch to the gut, the sting of humiliation burning through me as onlookers whispered and stared. My heart raced, a mix of fear and sorrow flooding my chest. Why me, again? What had I done to deserve this? But in those frozen seconds, something inside me stirred, a quiet strength I didn't know I had, waiting to turn the tide. My name is Layla Ahmed, and I've been navigating the turbulent waters of Washington High School in suburban California for the past 2 years. As a junior, I should have been focused on college applications, biology labs, and maybe even the occasional school dance. But instead, I found myself constantly dodging the shadows of judgment that followed me like an unwelcomed companion. It started small, the way these things often do. Whispers in the cafeteria about my hijab, questions like, "Aren't you hot under that?" laced with curiosity that felt more like accusation. I was born in the U.S., right here in sunny Sacramento, to parents who emigrated from Pakistan before I was even a thought. My dad works as a doctor at the local hospital, saving lives every day, and my mom teaches math at the community college, always emphasizing the importance of education and kindness. We live in a modest house with a garden where mom grows roses and dad grills kebabs on weekends. My little brother, Yusuf, is in middle school, full of energy and dreams of becoming an astronaut. Our family prays together, shares meals with laughter, and holds on to our faith as a guiding light in a world that sometimes feels dim. But at school, that light often flickered under the weight of misunderstanding. Washington High was a mix of kids from all backgrounds. Wealthy families in the hills, working class folks like mine in the flats. But diversity didn't always mean acceptance. I remember my first day as a freshman, walking into homeroom with my hijab neatly pinned, feeling a spark of excitement. I wanted to blend in, make friends, join the debate club. Instead, a girl named Sophie leaned over and asked, "Is that like a religious thing? My dad says people who wear those are oppressed." Her tone wasn't mean, just ignorant, but it planted a seed of isolation. I smiled politely and explained that it was my choice, a symbol of modesty and devotion to my beliefs. But inside, I wondered if I'd ever be seen as just Layla, the girl who loves reading fantasy novels and baking chocolate chip cookies. The real trouble began with Ryan Miller. He was the quintessential school star, captain of the football team, tall and broad-shouldered, with a charm that won over teachers and a smirk that hid something deeper. Everyone knew his story. His dad was a veteran who struggled after coming home from deployment, and his mom worked 2 jobs to keep their family afloat. Ryan channeled his frustrations into aggression on the field, and unfortunately, off it too. He wasn't outright cruel to everyone, but he had a knack for picking on those who stood out. For me, it started with snide comments in history class. We'd be discussing world events, and he'd mutter, "Yeah, like those countries where they force women to cover up." The teacher, Mr. Patel, would shoot him a warning look, but it never stopped. I ignored it at first, sparing myself in my notes, reminding myself of the Prophet's teachings on patience and responding to ignorance with grace. As weeks turned to months, the comments escalated. One afternoon in the library, I was studying for a test when Ryan and his friends sauntered in. He plopped down across from me, his buddy snickering behind him. "Hey, Layla, right? You pray 5 times a day or something? Must be why you're always so quiet. Plotting world domination?" His laughter echoed, drawing stares from other students. My cheeks burned, but I looked up calmly and said, "Actually, Ryan, prayer helps me stay focused and kind even when people make assumptions." He rolled his eyes, but I saw a flicker of something, maybe discomfort in his expression. That night, I confided in my best friend, Emma, over the phone. Emma wasn't Muslim. She was from a Christian family with curly red hair and a passion for art. We'd bonded in art class freshman year, sketching side by side. "That's awful, Layla," she said, her voice full of empathy. "You shouldn't have to deal with that. Want me to talk to him?" I shook my head, even though she couldn't see me. "No, I don't want to make it worse. I'll handle it my way." Home was my sanctuary, where I could recharge. Dad would come home from long shifts, his stethoscope still around his neck, and ask about my day. "Any challenges, Beta?" he'd say, using the endearment that always made me feel safe. I'd tell him about the little things, the stares, the questions, but downplay the hurt. "People fear what they don't know," he'd reply, quoting from the Quran about mercy and understanding. Mom would nod, stirring tea in the kitchen. "Remember, Layla, your dignity is your shield. Don't let anyone dim your light." Yusuf, eavesdropping from the stairs, would chime in with his innocent wisdom. "If someone's mean, just ignore them. They're probably jealous because you're smarter." His words made me laugh, easing the tension. But deep down, I wrestled with doubt. Why did my faith, something so beautiful and personal, make me a target? I prayed extra that night, asking for strength to face whatever came next. The tension built like a storm gathering clouds. In gym class, Ryan accidentally bumped into me during dodgeball, hard enough to knock me off balance. "Oops, didn't see you there. Your hijab blends in with the shadows," he joked, his friends howling. The coach blew the whistle, but no real consequence followed. I picked myself up, brushing off my clothes, my heart aching more from the laughter than the fall. Emma pulled me aside afterwards. "This is getting out of hand. We should tell the principal." I hesitated. Reporting it felt like admitting defeat, like I couldn't stand on my own. "Let me try talking to him first," I said. My faith taught me to seek peace, to turn the other cheek not from weakness, but because everyone deserves a second chance. Strength. That evening, I baked a batch of halal treats, date cookies, my grandma's recipe, and planned to offer one to Ryan as a gesture. Maybe kindness could bridge the gap. But before I could act, things worsened. Rumors spread after a school assembly on cultural awareness. I volunteered to share about Eid celebrations, describing the joy of family gatherings, fasting during Ramadan, and giving to those in need. Most students listened politely. Some even asked thoughtful questions. But Ryan, sitting in the back, heckled under his breath. "Sounds like a cult." Word got around, twisted into Layla's trying to convert everyone. Suddenly, notes appeared in my locker. Outsiders scribbled on scraps of paper. I felt eyes on me in the halls, whispers turning to isolation. Even some teachers seemed wary, like Miss Garcia in English, who skipped over me during discussions, as if afraid I'd bring up controversial topics. The emotional toll weighed heavy. Nights of tears soaked into my pillow, questioning if I should just remove my hijab to fit in. But no, that would betray who I was. Instead, I dove deeper into my studies, excelling in classes to prove my worth through actions, not words. Emma became my rock, defending me when she could. "Ryan's just insecure," she'd say during lunch, as we sat at our usual table away from the crowds. "His family's going through stuff. His dad lost his job, I heard." That gave me pause. Maybe his anger wasn't about me at all, but a reflection of his own pain. My parents noticed my quietness. Over dinner one night, Dad shared a story from his youth. "When we first came here, people stared at your mom in her salwar kameez. But we held our heads high, helped our neighbors, and slowly hearts changed." Mom added, "Forgiveness isn't for them, Layla. It's for you, to free your soul." Their words planted a seed of resolve. I started volunteering at the school tutoring center, helping anyone who needed it, including some of Ryan's teammates. One, a quiet kid named Alex, thanked me profusely after passing his math test. "You're all right, Layla," he said. Small victories, but they built my confidence. As the school year progressed, the conflict simmered into something more personal. Ryan's pranks turned targeted. A forgotten backpack tripped me in the hall, his smirk giving him away. I confronted him once alone after class. "Ryan, why do you do this? I've never hurt you." He leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "You don't get it. My dad fought over there, against people like, well, it's nothing personal." "It is personal," I replied softly. "To me and to you. we're all just trying to get through." He walked away without a word, but I saw conflict in his eyes. That night, I learned more from Emma. Ryan's sister Mia was sick, in and out of the hospital. My dad had treated her once in the ER, stabilizing her during a crisis. It was anonymous, but I remember Dad mentioning a young girl with the last name Miller. The pieces connected. Perhaps Ryan's anger stemmed from fear, misplaced on me because of stereotypes. The moral dilemma gnawed at me. Should I reveal what I knew? Use it as leverage? No, that wasn't my way. Instead, I prayed for guidance, focusing on empathy. Suspense built as prom season approached, a time when cliques tightened. Ryan ramped up his taunts, perhaps sensing my growing resilience. In the cafeteria, he loudly proclaimed, "Bet Layla can't dance. Her religion probably forbids fun." Laughter rippled, but I stood, plate in hand. Actually, we celebrate joy in many ways. Maybe someday you'll see. Emma high-fived me under the table, but inside fear crept in. What if it escalated beyond words? Then came the day that changed everything, leading back to that hallway moment. It was a Friday, the air buzzing with weekend anticipation. I had just finished prayer in a quiet corner of the library, feeling centered. As I walked to my locker, Ryan appeared flanked by his friends. Something was off. His eyes were red-rimmed, like he'd been crying. "There she is," he snarled louder than usual. The grab happened so fast, his hand on my wrist, pulling me into the spotlight. Time slowed as his words echoed. The accusation, the demand to leave. Pain shot through me, not just physical, but the deep wound of being reduced to a stereotype. Students froze, phones out, recording the spectacle. My mind raced. This was it, the breaking point. But in my heart, faith whispered, "Respond with truth." In those 5 seconds, as his grip tightened, I looked him straight in the eyes, my voice steady despite the tremor. "Ryan, stop. I know about Mia. How scared you must be. My dad was the doctor who saved her that night in the ER. He didn't see her as anything but a child in need, just like I see you now, hurting, but worthy of compassion." The words hung in the air, a revelation born of kindness, not vengeance. His face paled, grip loosening as realization dawned. The hallway fell silent. Ryan's knees buckled, and he dropped to the floor, hands covering his face. "Oh God, Layla, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Please, forgive me. I've done so wrong. Begging you, have mercy on me." Tears streamed down his cheeks, his tough facade crumbling like sand. The crowd murmured in shock as I knelt beside him, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. "I forgive you, Ryan. We all make mistakes when we're in pain. Let's start over, with understanding." Teachers rushed in, but the moment was ours, a turning point of raw emotion. In the days that followed, Ryan sought me out, apologizing profusely, sharing his fears about his family. We talked, really talked, about misconceptions, faith, and healing. He even defended me when others whispered. The school buzzed with the story, but it shifted perceptions. Suddenly, I was the girl who stood tall with grace. Emma hugs me tight. "You did it, Layla." With heart. My family beamed with pride, Dad saying, "That's my girl," proving strength through mercy. Looking back, that hallway wasn't just a confrontation. It was a lesson in dignity. I proved them wrong, not with anger, but with truth and kindness, emerging empowered. Life at Washington High changed. Less judgment, more curiosity. And in my heart I knew, faith isn't a weakness, it's the ultimate power. But let me take you deeper into how it all unfolded, because the path to that moment was paved with countless small battles and triumphs that shaped who I am. It began earlier that year, during the winter break. Flashback to winter break. Our family gathered for Eid al-Adha, the house filled with the aroma of spiced lamb and sweet baklava. Relatives from across town came, sharing stories of perseverance. Aunt Nadia, who wore her hijab proudly through nursing school, pulled me aside. Layla, the world will test you, but remember, Allah rewards the patient. Her words echoed as I returned to school, facing a fresh wave of cold shoulders after a news story about international tensions. Ryan's comments sharpened, like arrows aimed at my resolve. One particularly tough day in science class, we were partnering for a project on cultural influences in medicine. Ryan ended up as my partner, fate's ironic twist. He grumbled, "Great, stuck with the expert on ancient remedies." I smiled. Actually, Islamic scholars advanced medicine centuries ago. Think algebra in dosing. We worked together reluctantly, but as I explained concepts, his defenses cracked. "My sister's treatments are rough," he admitted quietly. "Dad says it's all politics." I nodded. Pain doesn't discriminate. My dad sees that every day. That conversation planted a seed, but Ryan pulled back, embarrassed. Internal turmoil raged. Why extend olive branches to someone who hurt me? Faith answered. The Quran speaks of repelling evil with good. I journaled my thoughts nightly, pouring out fears. What if they never see me? Am I strong enough? Yusuf found my journal once, wide-eyed. "Sis, you're like a superhero. Don't doubt." His innocence bolstered me. Spring brought more escalation. At a school fundraiser, I organized a booth on global cuisines, sharing halal snacks. Ryan wandered by, sneering. Trying to win us over with food? But he tried a samosa, his expression softening. Not bad. Moments like that hinted at change, but then he'd revert, perhaps to save face with friends. Supporting characters deepened. Mr. Lee, the guidance counselor, noticed my withdrawn demeanor. "Layla, you're one of our brightest. If something's wrong, my door is open." I confided partially, and he arranged a mediation session, but Ryan skipped it. Emma rallied, starting a club for cultural exchange. "This is for you," she said. We hosted events, inviting speakers, including my mom, who spoke on women's roles in education. Ryan attended one, lurking in the back, listening. The suspense peaked during finals week. Stress high, Ryan's family crisis worsened, Mia hospitalized again. I overheard him arguing with a friend. "Everything's falling apart." Compassion stirred. I anonymously left a care package at his locker. Books on coping, a note, "Hope helps." He never knew it was me, but it set the stage. Back to the hallway. After my revelation, the emotional climax unfolded. Ryan on his knees sobbed. "How can you be so nice after everything? I was blind, scared. Mercy, please." I helped him up. We all deserve second chances. The principal intervened, mandating counseling for him, awareness workshops for all. Ryan changed, volunteering with me, advocating against bias. Graduation approached with me as valedictorian, my speech on unity drawing applause. Ryan shook my hand after. "You saved me too." Empowerment bloomed. I headed to college studying pre-med, inspired by Dad. The experience taught me resilience, turning pain into purpose. Dignity prevailed, justice through moral strength. And in quiet moments, I thank Allah for guiding me to prove them wrong, not with force, but with heart. To fill the character requirement, let's delve into more detailed scenes and emotions. Scene: family dinner after a bad day. "Pass the rice, Layla," Mom said, her eyes searching my eyes. I forced a smile. School was fine, but Dad persisted. "Your face says otherwise." I broke, sharing Ryan's latest taunt. Yusuf frowned. "I'll punch him." "No," I said. Violence isn't our way. Dialogue flowed, building emotional depth. Internal. As I walked home, leaves crunching underfoot, I pondered forgiveness. The sun set, painting the sky orange, like hope amid darkness. Another scene. Art class with Emma. Draw what you feel, the teacher said. I sketched a bird in a cage, wings spread. Emma's was a bridge. Connecting us, she explained. We laughed, but tears welled. Friendship's gift. Escalation. Locker room incident. Ryan joked about my modest clothes. Bet you swim in that too. Humiliation burned, but I replied, modesty is freedom from judgment. He paused, conflicted. Moral dilemma. Discovering Dad treated Mia, I debated telling. Use knowledge wisely, Mom advised. I chose timing for impact. Climax expansion. In the hallway, post-grab, my words flowed from faith. His breakdown, knees hitting tile, pleas echoing. Onlookers shifted from shock to respect. I felt empowered, not victimized. Resolution scenes. Post-incident, Ryan visited our home with flowers for Mom. Thank you for your husband. Dad shook his hand. Healing starts with understanding. Family bonded over tea, cultures mingling. School aftermath. Assemblies on tolerance, me speaking. One act of kindness can change everything. Applause healed wounds. Personal growth. Summers volunteering at mosque, teaching kids about pride. College apps highlighted my journey. Final reflection. Walking across stage at graduation, hijab high, I knew I'd proven them wrong with dignity. And so the story of that 5-second turnaround became legend at Washington High, a testament to moral strength over might. Let me recall the first time I truly felt the weight of discrimination. It was during a field trip to the state capitol. We were touring the halls of history, learning about freedom and equality. As I admired a statue of Lady Justice, a classmate, not Ryan, but one of his circle, whispered, "Ironic, huh? For someone from your background." The words stung, a reminder that my American dream was conditional in some eyes. I straightened my posture, whispering a silent dua for patience. Back at school, Ryan's influence spread. He organized pranks, like leaving fake news articles in my desk about dangers of immigration. Each one chipped at my spirit, but I collected them, turning pain into fuel. Emma helped me report anonymously, but evidence was thin. Family support deepened. Weekends at the mosque, Imam Hassan's sermons on resilience inspired. The prophet faced worse, yet responded with mercy. I volunteered, helping refugees, mirroring my parents' journey. Emotional peaks. Nights alone questioning God. Why me? Answers came in dreams, visions of unity. Supporting character arc Emma faced backlash for defending me. Worth it, she said. Our friendship strengthened. Ryan's backstory revealed gradually. Through Alex, I learned his dad's PTSD-fueled biases. Empathy grew. Set up for reveal. Dad mentioned the ER case. A girl, Miller, brave kid. Connection clicked. Hall-like details. Scents of cafeteria lunch lingered, fluorescent lights buzzing. Ryan's hand rough, breath hot. My response? Calm. From heart. Aftermath. Counseling sessions together. Ryan opened up. I was wrong about everything. Bonds formed. Empowerment. Starting a blog on faith and identity, inspiring others. Closing. Today, years later, Ryan and I are friends. He attends interfaith events. Proof that kindness conquers. But to truly capture the emotional layers, let's explore more. The day before the incident, tension peaked at a pep rally. Ryan scored a touchdown mention. Crowd cheering. He glanced at me, smirk fading to something like regret. I wondered if change was possible. Internal monologue. As I prayed that night, knees on prayer mat, I felt peace. Guide me to truth. The grab. Physical jolt, emotional quake. 5 seconds. Count them. 1. Shock. 2. Prayer. 3. Recall. 4. Speak. 5. Transformation. His knees, symbolic surrender to truth. Resolution, expansion. Principal's office, Ryan admitting faults. She showed me mercy I didn't deserve. Community response. Parents meeting, discussions on bias. My family proud. Personal justice, self-worth soared, no longer defined by others. End with hope. In a world of judgment, dignity lights the way. If you enjoyed this story of resilience and kindness, please subscribe for more inspiring tales that uplift and empower.